Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I am your host, Ichigo.
And I am your host, Mikan.
Welcome back, guys. Join us this week as we discuss my pick for Mikan, Yakuza Fiance. Hey guys, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. This week we are discussing Yakuza Fiance. And I am so excited for this week's recording. Although I'm a little apprehensive, I'm not gonna lie.
You might not be happy by the end of this episode.
Don't make me have to drive up there and hurt you, bro. That's all I can say. Don't make me drive up. I'm so apprehensive. I knew I should have made you watch Tokyo Mew Mew. I'm gonna say that now.
Oh my god. Honestly, I'm really curious. I wonder how I would feel after watching that.
Yeah, probably a lot better compared to watching.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my gosh. So for those that have not seen Yakuza Fiance, which I hope all of our listeners, at least a majority of you, have seen it by now, we will be giving spoilers. There's your little boom, spoiler alert. So you know the drill. Pause this episode, go watch the show, come back, listen to what Mikan has to say. Because apparently it is a lot. And we hope you guys will enjoy this episode. So just to give a very quick synopsis, Yakuza Fiance is a story about Yoshino, who is engaged. Her grandfather, head of the largest Yakuza group in Kansai, has arranged her marriage to Kirishima, grandson of the Miyama clan leader, as part of a truce. To Yoshino's surprise, Kirishima seems kind and charming for a Yakuza member, but his warm facade only serves to mask a dark and dangerous truth. Okay? So first and foremost, initial thoughts on the show.
Okay, all right. We're going right into it, guys. I'm gonna be real and honest here.
Don't make me drive up.
Stop. When I initially saw the art, right, the covers and stuff, I didn't really see like full trailers yet, but the art, like I thought it was so gorgeous. I thought it was very classic style.
Right?
And I really thought the animation was gonna be on par. Oh my god. I'm sorry to say. What was their budget? They were probably working with a low budget, but oh my goodness. Have you ever seen those like animated previews for mangas? They kind of it's not actual animation, but like they have it moving.
Yeah.
I literally that's what it was.
Really?
Yes. Especially because of the way the art style was and whatnot. I really thought like they were gonna bring the animation with this. I don't know why. I don't know where I got that concept, but I really thought, oh my god, they're gonna make this so gorgeous and fluid. And it's going to look very classic, but it's going to have that beautiful animated fluidity that like we can do nowadays.
Yeah.
And I was so wrong. And granted, I think they worked on a small budget, so I'm going to give them that. But like, I was not prepared.
I think the animation is supposed to give you kind of like old school vibes. It's not supposed to be kind of like how it is nowadays. That's how I got it when I initially
the thing was they didn't even have old school animation though. It was like the flow was just not there. It just felt like
it was
stills.
old school. Maybe it's just the art style.
I mean, because the art was old school, but I feel like the animation, like their old school stuff that are very old that still have really good animation.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was more like stills. And granted, I do think it's just their budget. Their budget was probably pretty low for this anime, I'm assuming. And they probably just worked with what they have. So, you know, but I was a little bit disappointed regarding that.
Okay, I'll let you have that one.
Because it was so pretty. Like the art was so pretty. So I was like, oh, it's going to be really nice. But that was a little bit sad. That was unfortunate. Now we're going to go into the story.
Yes.
So I can handle the animation not being good. But in my opinion, if your animation is going to be a little bit lacking. I need the plot to fully be there. Okay. I need the plot to be killing it. And I'm just sorry, but oh my
No.
God. I like the basis for the story. I do. I
Okay.
hate the character.
Really?
Yes. I actually like Yoshino though. I do like Yoshino.
Okay,
I
okay.
appreciate Yoshino. I like her as a character. Ishima, I cannot stand this man. Listen, for those of you who don't know, I am a book talk girly. I do read a lot of romance books, fantasy. I don't read much shoujo anymore in recent times, but I used to. I so now I know a lot like of the romance genre, and I don't mind like dark fantasy. This I would fit this more in like a dark fantasy esque type of male character, right? He kind of fits that mold. He's a little on the dark side.
Rough around the edges, yeah.
He's just written so bad, in my opinion. He's just written so bad.
Really?
Yes, and I cannot stand him, especially because Yoshino, I feel like, has potential,
Mhm.
her character wise, but he just is written so subpar that it ruins the story for me. Oh,
No.
yes.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked. Well, I feel like I'm okay, so I knew you was going to hate one of the male characters in this
Mhm.
show,
Yeah.
and in my head I was like, okay, she's either gonna hate Kirishima or she's gonna hate I'm blanking on his name.
Shoma?
Shoma. Yeah, I was about to call him
Mhm.
Shota. Or she's gonna hate Shoma.
I didn't mind Shoma, actually. I didn't mind him.
Well,
He's kind of just there.
right. Okay, so this story, I had to go in with an open mind because a lot of the male lead roles and the male lead rival roles fall into two tropes. I feel like a lot of shoujo-esque romance anime have that main male character that just gets played out so quickly. And I think one of the reasons I like Kirishima's character and kind of want to learn a little bit more like about his backstory is because he tries to play that role in the beginning. He tries to play the like, I'll just show her my nice side. She won't ever have to learn my dark side. Within like hoping that she too was kind of like that. So he was kind of putting himself, his personality and what he's hiding in her without really knowing her. But because she comes from a Yakuza family, that's kind of like what he was insinuating to me. And I think
Okay.
that's why I liked his character, is because he's like, okay, well, we're just gonna be close. And then like even in episode 1, he was like, okay, yeah, look, I can't do this no more. I can't play in your face. I'm not gonna be fake anymore. You can do whatever you want. I don't really care about you anymore. I'm gonna do what I want. You can go back to Osaka for all I care. You're not what I expected. I was looking for
Mhm.
the thrills. You're not getting the thrills. And they call him a
Masochist.
doem. Uh,
Yeah.
Doem in the beginning in episode 1. So with that in my head, I was like, okay, he's gonna be off the wall. Like his whole personality is going to shift. And I like it was subtle, but I like the shift from episode 1 throughout the rest of the story. For me personally. And I think it's just because it's a change in the shoujo type of guys that I'm used to seeing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to
So is
explain
he
it.
darker? Like, is he more darker
Yes.
than the boy? Okay, yeah. So you're used to like maybe a little bit more like um Sunshine Boys.
Well, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But because he tries to start out that way and then he's like, look, no, I can't play in your face. I was like, oh, they really jumping into it. Okay. He's really dark. And I think that's what I kind of liked about his character for the
I
show.
see. So this is
But
like, yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, this is like you're dipping your toes into like a different side of maybe like I would say Jose, like it's a little I think it's categorized in Jose, but also maybe like
Yeah.
a little bit dark romance. I wouldn't really call this dark romance per se, but a little bit of like the darker side.
I mean, I would call it dark romance just because of how season 1 ended.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say like this is definitely a shift. And also you have to remember they're still high school students.
I think that was the worst part. That's what really got me.
Quite honestly, if they were older, I think the storyline would have been a little bit better because they could have been able to throw in a lot more adult-esque themes,
Yes. I
which
think
I
yeah,
felt like was lacking. Like, that's the
I
only thing,
agree.
like, this show could have been so much better in the sense of, like, these 2 people are adults. They're high school students, I'll say, like, if we're putting them in American high schools, they're probably junior, senior. But I think if they were college seniors or even just, like, fresh out of college and acting like this, it would have been a whole different ballgame.
I agree. Actually, when I first saw him and the first girl that he was like with, and it was censored, but I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
what is this rated?"
16 and up.
I wish they would have gone the full like rated R. I feel like the story just personally would have been so much better. Like more like raw on that side.
Mm,
Kind of almost take it like a dark notch like of Nana. Like just fully
mm,
embrace it. You know what I mean? Fully embrace for adults. I think that would have sold it so much more for me because it would have felt more darker. Where they're kind of teetering this line of like other high school kids. It's still we're trying to be light, but also having a character that's a little bit more of a dark romance main lover, if you will.
mhm. Yeah,
So I really do wish they would have just full on embraced the adult aspect and gone a little darker. I think
yeah,
it really would have fit the story a lot better.
yeah. I would agree with that. Quite honestly, if they were adults, then not only that, the fight scenes could be a little bit rougher
Hmm.
and, like, this is the Yakuza we're talking about, story
Yeah.
context. So, with the history of what is known of the Yakuza and what they do, they kinda like the mafia, right? So they really should have been fighting more people, but I felt like with the fight scenes and with what Kirishima and Yoshino kinda end up getting themselves into, it makes it to the point of where it's like, why are these high school kids running around acting like they're Yakuza?
Oh, I
You
was
know what I
okay
mean?
with that. Yeah. I mean, I was okay with that. At a certain point, like I kind of just let go of the fact that they're high school and just like I in my head, I
Yeah.
just look at them like they're adults or whatever. Because a lot of anime is just played in high school, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. I'll look at them as adults. But
Yeah.
I do think it would have been better if they were like either college age or a little bit older.
Mhm.
Maybe they might play into that in the later portion of the manga. I'm assuming, maybe, possibly, they get older. Also, can
That
I
would be
just say, like,
nice.
not Yoshino selling her dang kidney for a man? Gross. I was
Well,
mad about that.
he said you can go and sell yourself.
I know. That's why
And
I was mad. I was
so,
like, girl, you could have done anything else. Why'd you got to listen to that man?
well,
Oh,
not
no,
only
girl.
that, well, okay, so here's what I found interesting about that whole scene because I did rewatch it, okay?
Hmm.
In the beginning, my first impression was kind of the same thing. Like, dang girl, you just gonna Little Mermaid it out and just go ahead and sell your Ariel sold
Yeah, it's not her
her
voice.
voice and Yoshino out here selling kidneys. Technically, quote unquote, technically sold her kidney. Um, and for a dude, but when she gets bullied and like there's mud and she ends up talking to her grandfather is really trying to almost push her in order for her to kind of change.
Hmm.
And what I liked was that there was a shift, a very quick shift in her personality. It was almost like something clicked for her.
Hmm.
And where Kirishima has a dark side, now you're starting to see, well, does Yoshino have one too? And in this case, it's like she doesn't really have a dark side, but she does have a brutally honest side, and she not playing no games no more. Now
Hmm.
she is out for revenge against this
Yeah.
man, and it
Yeah.
ends up backfiring on her
Yeah.
because Kirishima is like, "Oh, wait, no, hold on. I love you. I've never felt like this before. We should get married.
See,
We definitely gonna get married." And I was like, that's creepy.
see,
But
it made me so mad that first time that he told her, like, he's like, I love you so much. But then literally his head was in some other woman's crotch like 2 seconds ago. And then he's all like, I'll try my best to get you to kill me when I cheat on you. I'm like, sir. if you're gonna be a wild, sarcastic, like funny and a player, there's a certain line, and I'm like a dark romance girly. I've read a lot of characters like this. It's honestly, it's normally up my alley. Um, but the way he's obsessed, it don't work with this type of character. Like it's okay, like because a lot of times these types of characters are obsessed with the girl, but the way the character is made, it just it like the love confessions and stuff, it doesn't feel real. And I feel like a lot of times when characters are written like this, when they confess their love, they themselves know, oh, it's not real yet. Like they're just kind of putting it out there, like, oh, saying it. But for him, his character, he thinks it's real, which that just gives me the ick.
Well, he thinks it's real because he doesn't know what true love is. Or not true love, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
He
he
doesn't
thinks
know.
it is. And
Yeah.
so technically, the downside of this is that Yoshino is like, yeah, I'm kind of used to this because of her grandfather and the other males that she's been around have all
Yeah.
acted like that. So she's like, okay, well, this is normal.
Yeah. But that's
And
what yeah.
I don't know, but I think what we're missing the part is that Kirishima grew up in a Yakuza household. So mostly
Yeah.
guys, right? So
Yeah.
that's probably what he's used to seeing. And
Yeah.
they're probably telling him like, look, this is love. And at the time that although he is professing his love for Yoshino and kind of like sleeping around with other women, you have to realize they're technically not in a relationship. And so when he was like, oh, I want to become the man that you want to kill when I cheat on you, I'm like, that lets her know that you plan on cheating on her when it's down the lane. But like closer to the end of the series, he's like, no, it's only you.
Mm-hmm.
It's only you. So I think like in the beginning, the dynamic is he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just kind of rolling off the handles.
Yeah.
Or rolling off the rails. But like as they spend more time together and then like they're going and they're fighting people together and that kind of thing, he kind of is just like, nope, I don't want you around any other guy. I'm gonna stop messing with these other girls. Because I think he does at one point say, I'm not fooling around with no other girls. It's just me and you.
Really? I mean, even till like the last few episodes, he was with her and he was like, oh, for her, I would sleep with anyone. I don't care.
But I think it's more of like for the money, but only if she would allow it.
No, to like even protect her. Like he's like, oh yeah, I would sleep with any woman. I like
He's probably just looking at it for what it is. He's not looking at it as like a
yes.
romantic connection. He's
No,
just
no,
like,
I agree.
it is what it is.
And I think the thing that really kills me with this is a lot of times when male characters are written like this, they are actually quite self-aware. I think that's the problem that I'm having. I think in his case, he has no self-awareness.
Well, because he's
Kind of
young.
does. He has no self-awareness. And
Yeah.
that's what I think is really like giving me the ick. Because the characters that I'm used to who have this type of persona, they're a bit clueless on their emotional aspect, but they're self-aware enough to understand like a little bit more than someone like the character of Kishima. And I get it, he's on a journey, but I think that's what's giving me the ick of he's starting out so strong and then already professing this love for this girl. And he's just one, not self-aware enough. Two, he clearly doesn't really actually love her because he doesn't know what love actually is. And three, he's still kind of acting like a douche. And I think that's a little too much for me. Like,
well, I will say I think his whole personality is like a firecracker, and he will not explode until there's fire that's lit up underneath him. And so I think that progression is you kind of see his emotions just kind of derail and go everywhere.
Yeah.
Too. So
yeah. No, I agree. But I feel like characters like this are just not written well. Because he's not very deep. Like there's not a lot of depth to a character like this. And that's why I like characters who have this type of personality but are actually like self-aware because that adds like a complexity to them. But Kirishima's like there's almost like no depth to him, which kind of annoys me because I would like this type of character is really kind of up my alley. It normally should be. But I think it's that lack of depth that really like, oh, like I'm just like, why?
yeah.
Because I do think when, in my opinion, a lot of shoujo type, particularly josei, they write this type of character. It's very cliche, right? I think in the end there was like a line he said, "Oh, your head is so small. I could crush you with one hand, but I want to spoil you sometimes." He has no added depth to him,
Mm,
which I think a lot of shoujo types do write them like very cliche like this. But when you write a character like this, you got to have maybe either a better way of writing a character or better plot. Because if he was one dimensional, like the way he is now, I feel like it's fine for like, oh, maybe like an erotic novel or something. You know what I mean? The
right.
plot doesn't really matter. But like in something like this, I'm like, I need more depth to the
Mm,
character because it is plot driven. And I think that's the problem I have.
mm. Okay.
But who knows? Maybe he'll grow a little bit more. Um, I will say, like him and what's her face, Bucky are scary. I'm like, Yoshino girl, just run, like run, like fast as you can, because you're surrounded by crazy people. Like, honey, be free, all right? Because you're too good.
She was one of
You're too
my
good for them.
favorites. Tsubaki was one of my favorite like side female
And
characters
she was funny.
because she's hilarious, but she's also just like super blunt. And the fact that she's from Kyoto, I love it. I'm sorry, y'all, but
Yes.
this
Yeah.
this whole show had like pulled my heartstrings. Mikan crazy. This whole show had just like grabbed me by the collar and yanked me up like you gonna love this
Oh,
show.
I thought like that's what I was expecting. They kind of went, she kind of the cliche route. And I think at this point, I have just read so many of these characters that I need a little bit better. I need a little bit more, especially because this is another thing I have a problem with. I find that people, it's hard for a lot of even women to write really good female characters. I don't know why, especially in the romance genre. It's almost like
Mhm.
once you have like a woman fall in love, they have a hard time writing them like strong and independent. And I feel like Yoshino's actually like written very interestingly. I like her. But you can also write a good male character as well. Like I don't know why. Whenever there's a decent female character, the male character, the main lover, is always not written well. Like it can be done well. Just give him a little
Mhm.
more depth.
This is one of the shows that has actually made me started reading the manga. And it's been a long
Oh,
time
okay.
since
Yeah.
I've been that intrigued with an anime story that I'm like, let me run and find the manga so that I can read it and then compare.
I'm glad to hear that actually. I think you're
So
just a dark romance girly. You're stepping your toes into it.
I don't know. I think another one of the reasons I love this show so much is not only because it's set in my favorite area of Japan, which is Kansai,
That's
like the
true.
main characters from Osaka, her best friend's from Kyoto. I'm just like this perfect. Like especially when she gets mad and that Kansai accent comes out, and she mean business. I'm like, Yoshino is who I aspire to be one day. I just wish I could be just
Yeah.
as blunt for the right reasons and not care about the consequences until after. I think that's also another reason why I really like the show is because of the way that Yoshino is written. Um, I love Tsubaki's character as well, even though she's kind of crazy in this
Hmm.
sense of like
Yeah.
she's in
I
love with
did
the
enjoy her.
grandfather.
She a little crazy and scary. I did like that though.
But she's a good best friend to back Yoshino up. Um, I also kind of like Shoma's character as well.
Oh yeah, I actually
Be-
preferred Shoma.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too surprised that you swayed more towards Shoma. But Shoma's character to me, like you can obviously tell he's in love with Yoshino. Like when he goes to Tokyo to bring her that album, he's like, "Come back to Osaka with me." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Leave that girl alone."
Can I also just say, this is what I was mad at. First of all, why is she so weak? She's born in a Yakuza family.
Mhm.
Nobody in the clan could have been like, we're gonna train you in karate, we're gonna train you in taekwondo, we're gonna train you in kendo, we're gonna train you in Muay Thai. Why can they never be strong? I don't understand. And when they are strong, then usually it's the main male character that's a little bit weaker. There's never a point where there's two, like both the female and the male are strong. I need more of that. Like she should really be kicking butt here.
I don't think she was expecting to fight anybody, but you also have to look at it as like typically in Yakuza families, it's not necessarily the female that's fighting people. It's always the guys. It don't have to be, but
Gee.
that's just I think if you think of any Yakuza story, video game, or even like the history of the Yakuza, it's always been the male members that have fought. They probably don't want to get her involved in their affairs. Why? Because if they're fighting with another clan and there's like active beef, the first person that the other clan is going to go after is that female
That's
character.
why she
That
don't even gotta
is
fight.
why. No,
She
she
doesn't
don't
have
have to
self-defense
fight.
skills. She's
But
surrounded by men
technically,
who can fight, and she can't fight at all. I'm like, bro.
look, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt only because compared to a lot of these other female characters when they're getting bullied in school or something like that and they go and they run to the male character to like kind of like save them, she's at least fighting some people back. She hit that one dude upside the head with a hair dryer. She fought like she was swinging
Let
a bat. Yes, she twisted her ankle. She's in heels. I don't know
Mhm.
why she just didn't take them heels off and
Yeah,
swing
for
the
real.
bat.
You know what I gotta say? Listen, listen, I feel like Tsubaki can throw down. I'm pretty sure she's like
Oh
an
yeah,
assassin level.
girl.
Right. So why can't Yoshino be like skilled? I know Tsubaki's about to be like, if somebody comes to her, she's gonna pull out a knife from somewhere hidden, and she's gonna be like, you better back off, boy. I feel like she has a black belt and
Yo.
everything. She has a
But
black belt and everything.
I don't know. It could be just the way that they were raised. Obviously, we don't see anybody else. We don't know her background other than she's Yoshino's friend, cousin,
Hmm.
who's in love with the grandfather. That's it. Like, and she
Yeah.
loves Yoshino. Like, that's all we know about her. But in the scene where Shomo walks in on her in the shower
Yeah.
and they look at each
And
other,
they look at each other.
and she's like going off, like she gets ready to like go off on him, but it's so calm and collected. That's what I need. I need calm and collected anger, collective anger,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's scary. Anybody that's like yelling and screaming at people, yeah, you can get past that. But when you are calm and
Yeah.
get mad at people like that, that's what I need in my life.
I feel
Okay,
like she would be the type that's like kicking butt, but once is it her grandpa or her dad? I can't remember. That she like is that her
Yoshino?
dad? Yeah.
No, that's her grandfather.
See, the thing is, I feel like if Tsubaki's like fighting, kicking butt, and then once the grandfather shows up, she's like, "Oh my god, help me!" Like, those people, those characters. She's like, "Oh, they're taking me hostage.
Excuse me.
Help!" Like, she's just gonna like fake it to.
Yeah, she just or
I can
like
totally see that for
you'll
her.
see her like grabbing and holding somebody by the hair and just beating the mess out of him, and then
Hmm.
he walks in the room like, "Tsubaki, are you okay?" And she like drops him. She's like,
Yeah, she's
"Oh,
like,
I've twisted my ankle.
yeah,
I can't
please save
move."
me. All demure. I did.
Very
Oh,
demure.
there was a scene, I think it was episode 9, where I think Yoshino was fighting that one of the dudes, and she basically goes, Kishima, and like fakes the dude, and he turns around, and then she blitzes. I was dying.
Yo.
I was like, girl, come on.
That was smart though. She's
Yeah, that
smart.
was smart.
She knows that she can't win that fight. So she's like, look, I'm a flank him out. Oh no, it's Kirishima. Bolts.
That was so funny. I
That
did
was
like that.
hilarious. It was hilarious.
Also, I think it was episode 10 where Kirishima did Ozu so dirty. Like hiring some dude to hook up with his mom was so that was like
He's dark.
the peak of like revenge. And I'm just like, I just did to your mom what you do to women. I was like, not the mom, bro. You crossing the line.
And then had
The mom.
evidence.
Yeah.
Evidence. Video evidence. He was like, how would you like it if I sent this over to your mom's? She's a famous newscaster, correct? How would you like this? I was like, he's out here ruining people's lives with a smile on his face. I think that's why I like Yakuza Fiance so much, is because they are straight up savages for high school kids. Like, I mean, with the exception of Shoma and Tsubaki, I think they're college students, but they are all savages.
Yeah.
I wish to have that level of savagery or petty. That's what I wish to have, that level of savagery or petty. Oh, okay. So I know you mentioned that you didn't like the fact that Yoshino sold her kidney for
Mhm.
Kirishima, right? And gave him the money. That part I will agree. I didn't understand that. But how did you feel about the reveal that Tsubaki was like, I didn't really take her kidney?
Oh, um, yeah, that was a little. She's such a creep,
She
but
was
I
like,
love
I
it.
couldn't let her do that.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, she didn't really. I think she said she either took another
she took
organ or she just like,
she took her blood, like I think a lot of blood from her or something like that,
yeah, yeah.
and she's keeping it. And I was just like, that's not weird at all.
She was like, I just told her I took a kidney and just gave her the money. All she had to do was just ask me for the money and I would have given it to her. And I was like, I don't know if I could ask anybody for that large amount of money
Well, I mean, they
for a
got money.
dude. But that's
Yeah,
also the
especially
other
for a
thing that I
dude. Oh,
didn't.
if you did that for
That's
a dude, I'd be so mad. I'd be like, ew.
I wouldn't tell you. But I'd be like, Mikan, can I borrow 1.5 million? Yeah, sure, here you go. Okay, thanks. What do you need it for? Don't worry about it.
If I find out it was for a man, I might have to come get you, take you out, be like, how dare you? But Sabiki's asking all the right questions. Like she really, when I
She
think it
did.
was the episode before the last one, episode 11, she was
Mm-hmm.
like talking to Yoshino and she's like, can you even be with a man like that? And I was like, yes, girl, that's a real one right there.
Well, I think
Granted,
because
she's
she
frightening, but
can see the difference. Technically, Yoshino was not brought up to be in that lifestyle. And so I think the
yeah,
grandfather kind of honored that with Yoshino's father and kind of tried to keep her away from that life as much as possible, with the exception of, giving his daughter's hand in granddaughter's hand in marriage to another Yakuza family clan as the
they
truce
just
so that they
sold
can,
her off.
yeah. But it was more of like, if you want to, like, hey, just see if you like it. If you don't like it, then come back and it'll be fine. And that's what Kirishima does say, is like, look, you're more than welcome to decline after a year, no
Yeah,
hard feelings. Which I'm like, okay, so that at least shows that she has somewhat free will here, but she's still willing to give it a shot. But technically she's not supposed to be in that lifestyle. And so compared to Tsubaki, who's kind of like somewhat in a lifestyle, but not really, through her family's doctor work or whatever. Um, Tsubaki just wants to make sure that she is not only physically prepared, but also mentally prepared for, look, if you choose this lifestyle, this is going to probably be 10 times worse once you are actually in.
hmm
So I don't know. The only thing I will say, I did not necessarily like the way that it ended, because it made me feel like it was ending off on a cliffhanger. And if they don't make a season 2, I'm gonna be upset.
oh,
They better make a season 2.
I mean, I think they are.
Good,
I
because I
believe
didn't get a chance to look it up before we started recording.
I I believe there's 30 something chapters.
Yeah,
So I think I heard some rumors about, but I don't think there's a release date yet for season 2, so who knows.
I need them to officially confirm it, because
Yeah.
despite what you said, you missing a lot of things. I feel like. But I am glad that you watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yay.
it was on my list. It's just
Mhm.
not it's what I expected as well as what I didn't, I guess.
Mm.
I think I just have a little bit of higher expectations. Um Particularly with character development and plotline. If the animation was there, I think if the animation was there, I probably wouldn't have even minded, because I would have been like, "Oh, it's so pretty. I can totally deal with the characters and the plot. It's fine." I gotta say, I did appreciate the female characters, both Yoshino and Tsubaki. I thought they were well written, and I did like them. It's just I need the male characters to
Step
step
it
it up
up.
a bit. Yeah. I mean, they can honestly full force go into the whole dark thing. I love that. Just maybe a little bit more depth there. Kishima, I'm talking about you, sir. A
Well,
little bit more depth there.
he got a little better after the grandfather basically beat the brakes off of him. That was my other question, is how did you feel about that interaction between Kirishima and the grandfather, when the grandfather's like, "Hey, let me holler at you for a minute. Come downstairs. Come down."
Oh,
I knew it
I
was
was
game
like,
over when he was like,
yes.
"Oh."
Oof. I was like, yes. Beat him up. I was clapping. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, somebody has to beat this boy. Get
Yo,
him,
he beat
knock
the
some sense into
brakes
him.
off of him.
And he just took it, which I was like, good. You should.
Well, and I get it. It's like, look, my granddaughter ain't been with you a week and she's already getting thrown into this world and beat up by other people. Excuse me? What are you doing taking my granddaughter out so late at night with you on your Yakuza business? She ain't even supposed to be around this.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen again. But the fact that
Basically.
Kirishima came out of that beating only to turn around and try and go beat up Shoma.
Yeah. He's like, I got some business to deal with.
I was like, bro, didn't you just get your butt kicked by the grandfather? Now you going just go ahead and take on the whole clan. I think that's really what he wants. He just wants
Yeah.
to stir drama.
I mean, yeah, I think that's another thing I just have a problem with him.
He
I'm
just
like,
like drama.
if you're gonna be the cool, like sarcastic, like type, he's just trying to be too many types. I'm like, you gotta pick a few. Like you're playing too many roles here, and it's like it's not really working.
Well, we already know one role is not true, and that's the kind-hearted, sweet side. Like we already know that's a facade. That's a lie. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that I wasn't even. I feel like it's that he's the wild, he's the playboy, he's the sarcastic, he's the obsessed. I'm like, bro, you like okay, you can be all those things, but like maybe
slow your roll.
slow your roll a bit. And I do think it's a little bit too much. I do think though, had I watched this maybe a few years ago, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. But I think I've just read this type of genre a little too much now that I have a bit higher expectations. I think that's what it is.
Well, girl, I only got one thing to say to you about that. Stop reading.
I can't. There's just too many. There's too many books out there, and I gotta read.
Put the book down.
It's too late. I've already watched too many animes. I've already read too many books. Like I don't think I can undo what's already been done.
You need a redo button for your mind, right?
I wish that would be amazing. The amount of anime I could rewatch and be like, oh, wow, would be amazing. I wish.
Well, I am glad that you, I'll say, somewhat enjoyed the show. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. I'll say
Yeah.
somewhat enjoyed it. We're gonna
I
have
mean,
to
I don't
get you
regret
on.
watching it.
Well, that's good. That's good. We're gonna have to get you on Tokyo Mew Mew next. That's
I'm a little scared about that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this was worse. Probably you gonna hate everybody.
Oh, really?
Probably. It's that
Oh
shows.
no.
I
That
threw
show's
in.
long.
Well, the older one, yes. The new one, Tokyo Mew Mew New, is over 2 seasons, and I think maybe 12 episodes each season. So it seems like they consolidated. I didn't finish watching Tokyo Mew Mew New. I probably should finish it, but yeah, no, that show is very, very, very girly. The only reason I added it to my top 3 picks is because you made me watch Attack on Titan. So I was like, I need one of the girliest shows I've ever seen that she's gonna have to probably suffer through. What can it be? Ooh, Tokyo Mew Mew. That one.
Oh my gosh.
But the audience did nobody pick that one. I think maybe one person picked it. Everybody else was like either Sign of Affection or Yakuza Fiance. And everybody
Okay,
picked
good.
Yakuza
Good.
Fiance.
Good, y'all. Thank you for that.
So I'll give them that. But we will have to review A Sign of Affection next. I think you might like that one better, but now I'm curious if that's how you felt about Kirishima, how you gonna feel about Itsuomi,
Oh,
who is the
snap. Wait,
main
what? I
the
thought that was a
main
cutesy
guy.
romance.
It is a cutesy romance. It's not anything like that. But there was a lot of people when that show came out in the comments hating on the main guy character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Interesting.
Yeah, you gonna have to watch it. You gonna have to watch it, and then I'll add it to our we gonna watch this next and review list.
Okay.
And we can definitely discuss. Definitely.
Exciting.
So yes. That stay tuned for that, y'all. It'll be one day, one of these days. Um Thank you guys once again so much for joining us. Thanks, Mikan, for watching Yakuza Fiance.
Yeah. Thanks for the
Hopefully,
recommendation. And thanks for
yeah.
voting for it, guys.
Yes, thank you guys so much once again for all of those. We couldn't put it on TikTok because Mikan run into TikTok, so she would have seen what the choices that
That's
I
true. It was
made.
supposed to be kind of a surprise.
So everybody that was on Instagram that went out to vote, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. And if we do this again, then we will make sure to have it spread across both platforms. That way everybody can pick, or all three platforms. That way everybody can pick and decide for a show for us to watch next. No, I have you watch it on your own time. Thank you guys once again so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Sekai Podcast. And we will catch you guys next week for another brand new episode. Just giving out a little announcement. This month we are celebrating 2 years of Anime Sekai Podcast.
Insane.
I know those 2 years went by really quick. We thank each and every person who has listened to our episode, shared it with a friend, commented on any of the episodes, liked, just any interaction, social media. Thank you guys so much. We are truly grateful, truly appreciative. We are thinking about doing something special, maybe like a little giveaway. It would be a small giveaway. We're not sure what we're gonna do yet, but we will let everybody know soon. And so we hope you guys will continue to stay with us. This is just a little thank you from us. We really appreciate you guys so much. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you guys posted. And we will catch you guys next week with another brand new episode. All right, guys. Peace.
Bye, guys.